So I thought it was fitting to share with you why I decided to make the Ashrei video. And in order to segue into that, I want to share a story actually that Rabbi Michal Twersky told me when I was much younger, before I got married. I was talking to him about what is it that I wanted to do with my life. And I told him that I wanted my job actually to be a magid. I wanted to be a storyteller. And within this conversation, he told me a story that related to, kind of like the difficulties of figuring out what you want to do in life. And this story will lead into a teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, which will then explain kind of why I made the Ashrei video, which is a really fascinating story also of Hashgacha Pratis. So anyways, he said to me that one time Reb Zusha was traveling in a caravan of some sort or in a wagon, and on the way to the town that they were going to, they ended up getting to a fork in the road, and the sign that was at the fork in the road that said, to this town to the right, to this town to the left, maybe there was even more at this intersection. The sign was on the ground, and so there was no way to tell which direction to go. The people that were there were trying to figure it out. The driver and whoever else was a part of this ride to wherever they were going, trying to figure it out together, whole discussion. They can't figure it out. So they see Reb Zusha is sitting in the wagon, and he used to dress not in the ways of a Rebbe. He would oftentimes dress as a pauper, and it was hard to really tell that he was anything special. So they decided, what, why don't we ask that guy that's in the wagon that didn't come out, see maybe if he has any idea of where to go. So they went to him, to Reb Zusha of Anipoli, and they said to him, excuse me, do you have any clue where to go? So he said, I can take a shot at it. Said, come. They brought him out to the intersection, and he looked at the expanse and the different directions they could possibly go, and he told them which direction to go. And he said it with confidence, so they listened to him, and they went that way. They ended up getting to the town that they were looking for. Once they got to that town, they asked Reb Zusha, how did you know to go in that direction? He said, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know. But when I looked in both directions, one way I saw the Shem Havaya, I saw Hashem's special name, and in the other direction, I didn't see Hashem's name. So I went in the direction of Hashem's name. That was what Rabbi Michal told me in his downstairs room that has, lots and lots of svarim, a beautiful room. With that being said, I want to just share with you quickly that there's an idea that the Arizal brings, and I actually read about it from this sefer here called Illuminated Sound from Rabbi Pinson, Rabbi Dov Ber Pinson. And what he explains from the Arizal is that the Arizal takes a pasuk that says, Einecha l'noichach yubitu. Your eyes will observe looking forward. Let your eyes kind of like look forward. Let them look forward. So the word neichach, which kind of means forward, is the gematria of 78. Nun, chaf, ches. Nun is 50, chaf is 20, ches is 8. Neichach is gematria 78. So 78 divided by 3 is well known to be 3 times 26, which is the Shem Havaya, which is the unique name of Hashem. And the Arizal explains that one needs to contemplate and meditate on that Hashem kind of create a reality in your mind that the Shem Havaya is in front of you, right? Is to the right of you and to the left of you. Your entire observable view, perspective, you have to have pictured and engraved in your mind that the name of Hashem is in all 3 of those directions, which is a perfect kind of teaching to relate to this idea of Reb Zusha. And the Baal Shem Tov takes it a little bit further, he says here, which I find absolutely incredible idea. And this is from the Kutim Yikarim of the Baal Shem Tov on Parshas Ekev. It says there There is a great value when a person continuously considers in his heart that he is near the Creator and that Hashem is surrounding him at all times. One should be so experientially connected to this concept that he does not need to be constantly reminded of its truth. For he sees Hashem's presence with his inner eye and understands that Hashem is the Mekoyme Shalolam. He is the space of the world. Since Hashem was present before the creation of the world, the entire world is founded upon and exists within the Creator. May he be blessed. And here's the most important part. Most people see the world first. And through the lens of nature, they may see Hashem. For example, you go to the Swiss Alps, or you see an incredible flock of birds flying over your head, or you contemplate, how nature works in streams and valleys and oceans and rivers. So with these things that you see, or a beautiful sunset, beautiful sunrises, you say, wow, Marabu Masecha Hashem, how abundant are your creations, how wonderful are your creations, Hashem. And from creation, you see little glimmers of God. That's the way most people can see God. It's like little glimmers through the world. But, says the Baal Shem Tov, when one places Hashem before himself always, he's able to see Hashem first, and through the Creator to see creation. So it's two perspectives. One would be, through the creation, I tried to see the Creator, versus the Baal Shem Tov says to train your mind that through the Creator, I see creation. A sense of seeing begets a sense of being seen. So when you try to see Hashem in everything, as everything, feeling everything, and encompassing everything, so then you begin to feel like you see Hashem through creation. You see Hashem as creation, that Hashem is creation, is what I mean to be saying. And by seeing Hashem constantly with your inner eye, so then you also feel like you're being seen. When your life is lived consciously in the perpetual presence of Hashem, and you're constantly seeing the guiding hand of the Creator in every detail of your life, you are also aware of being seen by the Creator of the world. In the words of the students of the Baal Shem, this is a deep level of living, to always see the Creator, blessed be He, with your mental eye, as if you're looking at another person. And one should think to himself that the Creator too is looking at him in the same way that another person can look at him. This should be your continuous, pure, and clear thought. So with this being said, that was a little excerpt from this Illuminated Sound. I want to share with you a few reasons why I wanted to make this Ashrei video. So the first thing is that it's always been a thought pushing on my mind that I have lots and lots of stories of Hashgacha Pratis, and I used to also collect people's stories related to divine providence, and I always felt like, why do I contain and hold this within myself? What's the reason? Why? And then I started to realize, one, I need to train myself to remember and to contemplate and to integrate times where I feel as though Hashem is communicating with me in my life through the world. And I also realized that I want to be able to share it with other people. I need to have a database in order to remember it. And further, I want this as a space that I can connect to Hashem and increase emunah and learn. So now I'm going to tell you of the ultimate reason why I decided to kind of take that plunge. So it was on this last Thursday that I made the Ashrei video. That morning, I ended up watching over my baby, Pacey. Why? Because there was a snowstorm, so I didn't have any work to go to. I'm a Rebbe in a yeshiva. And he was sleeping so well that I had finished davening, And I had some time to spare, and I was thinking to myself, that was a cool Hashgacha Pratis story. A year's going to pass. I'm going to totally forget about it. Maybe it's time for me to finally take that plunge and just start to record the different things that happened to me and other people around me and share it. But then I had all these feelings of self-doubt. It's not going to be high quality. Maybe it's not worth it. It's a little bit embarrassing, public, etc. And yet I still consistently, for many days since that occurrence happened, I had this feeling like I have to do this. I have to do this for myself. I have to do this for Hashem. I have to do this for others. And so it happened to be that morning I was doing this same thing where I spoke to Hashem because I had a little bit more time. I said, Hashem, please bring me to the Sefer that I need to look at today. So it happened to be that I pulled down this Chumash on my on one of the bookshelves in our family room. So I grabbed it and I had it at the table and I forgot about it until after I davened. And then I was saying this, I started to daven to Hashem. And I said, please, Hashem, if you want me to put this story of Ashrei online, if you really, really want me to do it, so then show me a clear indication inside of Chumash that you want me to do it. And if it's not clear, if there's nothing clear, then I will not do it. But if it's something that's clear, then please, please, please let me know through this Chumash. So I really contemplated on how Hashem is the world, and I had bitachon that if Hashem wants me to do it, that he'll show it to me. And I went ahead and I opened up the Chumash. And this was the page that I didn't flip the pages, I just opened it up. And what did I open up to? So first, my eyes were kind of down here and they moved upwards without looking at any words. And I just started to read from the first line. So what is it that the first line said? Oh, sorry, I missed a very important detail. When I did this, as I was contemplating and asking Hashem, I said to him, like, for example, something clear would be for the page to have something like Asher with a Yud after it. That was something that popped into my mind. And after that popped into my mind, and I said it to Hashem, I said, but no limits on you. But if there was something like that, an Asher with a Yud is the beginning of the next word, so that would be a pretty clear indication that you want me to tell the story of Ashrei online. Sorry about that. So anyways, I opened up to the next page, and I was, somewhat, whenever I would do something like, I feel a little bit of fear or something like that. I don't know if fear is the right, like awe, like, am I really going to see if Hashem is going to, help me out in such a way? And it turned out that he really did. So let's go ahead and let's look at that pasuk. The pasuk says, it really begins on the previous page, but I didn't look at the previous page at the time. It says, Vayomer Moshe Ela'am, and Moshe said to the nation, and this is where the pasuk begins on this page. It says, Al tiro, you shouldn't fear. So right away I heard that, right? You shouldn't fear. Like speaking to myself, you shouldn't fear. What are you afraid of? Hisyatzvu, stand strong. Uru'u es Yeshuas Hashem, and see the salvation of Hashem. Asher Yaseh, that he will do lachem for you. And I saw Asher Yaseh, which is that exact thing that I asked to see. Ashrei. Asher with a Yud. I couldn't believe it. And listen to the words again. You shouldn't fear. Stand strong and see the salvation of Hashem. Asher Yaseh lachem, that he will do for you. And then the next page, the next line, Hayom, today. And it continues as Kasher Isam es Mitzrayim Hayom, because today, the way that you see Mitzrayim, Lo Tisi Filiroisam Oid Ad Olam, you will never see them again in this way. Talking about the salvation of the Jewish people. And when I saw this, I said, okay, Hashem, I understand that not just that I can see you through the world, but you are the world. And everything are the letters of the Aleph Beis. And Peseches Yedecha must be l'chol chayratzayin, and you open up the hands of all living beings. Sorry, you open up your hands and satiate all living beings. And there's nothing separate from you. You are the space of the world. And clearly, you would like me to share the story of Ashrei, as you can see here in this pasuk.